Hi, welcome back to CBSE Board Economics. I'm Saddam Hussain here. Today we're discussing some objective type questions that might come in the board exams for 6 marks. These are pretty simple and easy to score marks. The question is for 6 marks, but it is divided into 3 parts. Each part carrying one mark. Maybe these are true and false questions where you are supposed to write true and justify your answer, or write false and justify your answer. Or sometimes they might ask you, are these values included while calculating domestic income or national income, and why? So such type of questions are quite popular in the board exams. You should be preparing well for that. So let's say this year they're giving more emphasis on objective type questions because of the pandemic. So let's see some of these questions. We'll be putting on a lot of these questions in subsequent videos. The first one you have here, this question came in one of the sample papers issued by the boards earlier. This is, will the following factor incomes be included in domestic factor income of India? That's domestic income of India. Give reasons for your answer. 6 marks. I repeat, will the following factor incomes be included in domestic factor income of India? That's a domestic income. Give reasons for your answer. So before we go to that, right, so let's discuss domestic income and national income. Domestic product and national product. The broad difference between domestic and national product. Domestic product or domestic income includes income of the residents as well as non-residents. Domestic income includes income of the residents and non-residents. National income includes only the income of the normal residents of the country. So let's say I'll give you a lot of them. Examples here, we discussed what is given here. Compensation of employees to the residents of Japan working in Indian Embassy in Japan. Compensation of employees. Right. Hi, welcome back to CBSE Board Economics. I'm Saddam Hussain. Today we'll be discussing some objective type questions. So one of these questions for 6 marks that came earlier in the sample papers is, should we include these values while calculating domestic income or national income? The question goes like this for 6 marks. It's divided into 3 parts. Each part carries 2 marks, where you are not supposed to write too much, right to the point. So the first one, will the following factor incomes be included in national domestic income of India? Give reasons for your answer. The first one goes like this: compensation of employees to the residents of Japan working in Indian Embassy in Japan. Compensation of employees to the residents of Japan, the people working in Japan, in our Indian Embassy in Japan. Before we discuss this, let me give you a broad idea about embassies. All Indian embassies located abroad, whether they are located in USA or UK, Japan, Germany, anywhere in the world, embassies, consulates and military establishments of the country, wherever they are in the world, we discussed earlier, they are a part of our domestic territory or economic territory. So whatever the income is generated in these embassies, whether in terms of salaries and all, we should include in the domestic income of India. Whether it is done by the residents or non-residents, whether it's done by Indians there or foreigners working in those embassies, we should take it in the domestic income of India. So here the question goes, compensation of employees paid to the residents of Japan working in Indian embassy in Japan. Let's analyze it this way. Some Japanese are working, the natives of Japan, Japanese are working in our embassy in India, no sorry, in Japan, Indian embassy in Japan. Now the answer is, since they are working in our embassy and our embassy is a domestic territory of India, it should be included in the domestic income of the country or domestic product. However, which is not asked here, I am giving you more explanation. However, it should not be included while calculating national income, because Japanese working in an Indian embassy in Japan are not the normal residents of the country, because in national income, we take the income of only normal residents. I hope it's clear. So, Japanese working in an embassy in Japan, should we take their salaries, compensation for? Yes, it should be included because they are working in the domestic territory of the country, because the embassy is located. So whether they're Japanese or Indians, anyone working in these embassies are a part of our domestic territory, so it should be taken. However, it should not be included in national income, because Japanese working in Indian embassy in Japan are not the normal residents of the country. Same way, analogy I'll give you, Indians working in American embassy in India, should we take their income in the domestic territory, domestic income of the country or domestic product? No, it should not be included, because American embassy in India is a part of the domestic territory of USA. We should not take it in our domestic product or domestic income. We should not take it. However, it should be taken in India's national income, because it is treated as factor income from abroad, and the Indians working in American embassy in India are the normal residents of the country. I hope it's clear. Or we put it this way, Japanese working in Japanese embassy in India, their income, should we take it in the domestic income of our country? No, it should not be included, because Japanese embassy in India is a part of domestic territory of Japan. Should we take it national income? No, we neither take it in domestic income nor national income, because Japanese are not the normal residents of the country. And moreover, Japanese embassy in India is not the domestic territory of India. Let's go to the next question. Payment of fees to a chartered accountant by a firm. Should we take it in domestic income or national income? In this case, domestic and national income answer will remain the same. See, while calculating national income, we should take compensation of employees, wages and salaries paid by a firm. But at times, the firms engage the services of chartered accountants, services of plumbers, services of electricians, or services of... So, to them, the firm does not pay compensation of employees' wages and salaries. The firm pays only the fees. So any fees paid to any part-time worker, maybe a CA, chartered accountant, or a plumber or electrician, we should not include it. We should not include it because it is treated as intermediate consumption expenditure of the firm. We should not take it in domestic income or national income. It makes no difference here because it is treated as consumption expenditure of the firm. The firm will include in its intermediate consumption expenditure, so it should not be included. The next one, you have a rent received by an Indian resident from Russian embassy in India. Russian embassy in India is there, and someone has given his house for the Russian embassy for rent, maybe. So Russian embassy, their staff members are staying in that house, they are paying him rent. Should we take it in domestic income of the country? The rent received by an Indian resident from Russian embassy in India? No, it should not be included because Russian embassy is not a domestic territory of India. Russian embassy is not a domestic territory of India. However, it should be included in national income because the person or the Indian who is receiving this rent, is a normal resident of the country. I hope it's clear. And the next one you have, the last one, compensation given by an insurance company to an injured worker. So the injured worker is getting the compensation from the insurance company. He has not done any productive activity. No production is taking place here. He is getting from the insurance company. It should not be included in domestic income or national income. Should not be included because no, it's not, no economic activity is taking, no production is taking place. It should neither be included in domestic nor national income. It should not be included. So this is the one, right? Okay. Now similarly, I'll give you more examples here. An Indian is working in Indian embassy in Japan, and he's getting the salary. That should be taken in domestic income because the Indian embassy is the domestic territory of India. It should be taken in national income anyway because he's a normal resident of the country. An Indian is working in maybe American embassy in India. It should be taken. It should not be taken in domestic income of the country because American embassy is not a part of a domestic territory. However, it should be taken national income because it is treated as factor income from abroad and he is a normal resident of the country. So we'll see such kind of more questions, objective questions. I'll give you more idea. It refreshes your memory, refreshes your knowledge before you go for the examinations. That's all we have time for today. Till we meet next time, keep smiling. Bye-bye.